Okay, so let me tell you about Dan Kennedy.
Dan Kennedy.
Dan Kennedy.
Dan Kennedy.
Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy.
Hi, this is Dan Kennedy. Regardless of your business, online, offline, or both.
I met Dan Kennedy early in my entrepreneurial journey. I was in college, actually. I remember I was trying to figure out how to do postcard marketing, and I came across this, weird old guy named Dan Kennedy. And I just remember at the time thinking, this guy has no idea what the internet is. When I got into it, I realized that what Dan was great at was all the things that actually mattered, and that it was this idea of the medium through which the marketing is done, whether it was direct mail, or heck, the yellow pages, or the internet. That's not the thing that actually matters. It's the message.
So I'll quickly show you, here's a lead generation ad.
I don't think there's anybody ever, period, that has had a bigger impact in the field of direct response, advertising and marketing than Dan Kennedy.
His direct response marketing approach is what has spawned all of these companies, events, masterminds, you name it. He is a marketing master who has taught an untold number of experts that are now leading it.
I learned opportunity marketing through Dan. I learned replacement is always better than improvement. I learned a good pair of boots are always better than a good pair of shoes. They're not really lessons, they're kind of laws that you live by.
So this is an ad that ran in comic books.
He's written 30-some books, and I have all of them. Any information is as valuable in today's world as it was when he wrote the books.
That's why you want to look at the gold in the old.
It is timeless. You'll be able to get useful things that will serve you throughout life, as opposed to learning what color a button should be or how to run a particular thing in Facebook that's only good until everybody knows what that tactic is.
So the first time I heard who Dan was, or even heard his name mentioned, was actually from Russell Brunson. So I bought all the books that I could find on Amazon, and I sat down and I read all of them. And then I went and bought the courses off the GKIC website and went through probably about half of those. And that is what gave birth to the model that became Gym Launch, which ended up doing $28 million in revenue and $17 million in profit in its first full complete calendar year.
I would say that literally every dollar that I've given to Dan Kennedy, and I mean this 100% sincerely, has returned back to me 10,000-fold. That's
advertising.
We're sitting right now in one of the biggest marketing events in the world that we own. I don't think we would have ever pulled it off without the advice of Dan Kennedy.
The legend of Dan Kennedy should be ignored at your own peril.
So this is where we go for the growth.
His ripple effect touches people who don't even know his name.
Dan's work is timeless, forever. Forever.
You will never, ever meet a better teacher.
I have no one to thank for that besides Dan.
If you look at all of the greatest marketers that you see today, in every industry, every market, and you start tracing back, all roads literally lead back to Dan. He was the beginning. He was where all this stuff started from. The world as we know it was changed because Dan Kennedy became obsessed with marketing.
Welcome to the stage, your host, Marty Ford.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, well, welcome back to the Magnetic Marketing from Annoying Pest to Welcome Guest Challenge. First of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody on Facebook that's streaming in. Put your hands up. All you Facebook streamers, good morning. Ready for a big day 3? We got a huge day 3, and the days are going to get bigger and bigger and better, and it's always been an awesome challenge already, and we only got a whole lot more to come. All right, all our VIP Zoomers, put your hands up. Good morning. You guys getting your homework done? Ready to get a lot done today? Hope so. All right. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and say something to keep that chat going. Okay, guys. Well, again, I'm Marty Ford. We got a super presentation. You're going to be with me for the next 40 minutes. Then we have 2 awesome guest speakers coming up in different industries. And then again, I think, which is frankly the most important part of the day, because you guys tell us that your favorite part of the day, which you get the most value from, bar none, is the VIP Q&A. And having those sessions has been so awesome. We're all working together. It's like a mini masterclass, mini mastermind. So we're going to do an hour where a lot of you can get your questions answered. And I think what's more important to hear others get their questions answered as well. But right now, remember me, I'm a writer downer guy. Grab your pen. Let's get to work. You took the time to be here. We took the time to give you everything we got. Okay, so today we're going to focus on how magnetic marketing has your perfect client coming to you. How magnetic marketing has your perfect client coming to you, because that's the whole reason we're here this week, right? Is to work on attraction, okay? To go from annoying pest to welcome guest, all right? So that's the whole thing. So now I know what you're thinking, all right? Because I thought it off of myself. You know, you're already in a crowded market with a lot of competitors, so this won't work as everyone is marketing, so why bother, right? Just throw in the towel, okay? You know, I want to give you, there's comparable numbers. I'm in a huge crowded niche, and so I'm just like you, and it's for that exact reason that you absolutely need magnetic marketing, because it will cut like a knife through the competition and uncrowd your market. Who wants less competitors? Is that it? Let's try that one more time. Who wants to dominate their market? Who wants to dominate their niche? Who wants it all? Well, that's the way I think, and this will do that for you, okay, guys? So here's the big secret. The big secret is you can have the best product in the world, all right? You can have the best service in the world. That's really where most people get off. They focus on being the technician. And remember what we talked about earlier, it's not about, and I wish I could hear y'all yell it out, but we can talk about it Q&A. It's not working in the business, it's doing what? It's working on the business, right? That's right. You can provide great value. You can be the best salesperson, bar none, and you still starve. And I know that because that's what's happened to me. So it wasn't looking pretty, you know. I went to the best music schools. I was the best at what I did. I was the best guitar teacher. I had all that on lock. But when I went to the ATM and there's $100 left, not great. Okay, same for a lot of you. Okay, so here's the big thing. Please take note of this slide and please take this hard. This is a big key for today, guys, is this. It's all about systems. It's all about the ultimate marketing machine, the UMM. So I'll go through this a little slowly. Until you have a reliable, predictable, consistent system that affordably and efficiently provides an abundant quantity of quality prospects, customers and clients, okay? A system by definition is reliable, predictable, and consistent, okay? That means you're not running ads wondering what the results will be. How many of you guys pushed the button on Facebook this year and you were not happy with the results? How many of you guys pushed the button on an email and you were not happy with the results, wondering, okay, I'm pushing this button and I wonder what's going to happen, okay? But this gets you into predictable results, and I'm going to go over very specific examples today with you on that, okay? So, you know, you got to look at how much business is coming in tomorrow, and think about our guests so far that we've already seen this week and shared time with us. So Vance Morris, carpet cleaning, coaching, mold removal. All right, so let's think about that for a second. That's a super crowded market. I mean, there's a gazillion competitors for him, from like national chains to local people who try to do the same thing. Okay, he's in a very crowded market. But what happened is, remember this, guys. Remember the visual Vance gave you with the attraction model, because he defined his who, he clarified his message, and he put in systems. So he was able to stop chasing slums, and where did Vance go? He started to service mansions. So who wants to start serving the mansions versus the slums, right? That's our goal. That's what we're going to help you to do and understand, and so you can do it yourself. Look at Dr. David Phelps that was with us, okay? So he's in the market of, and the niche of investing in exit strategies, okay? Again, super crowded market. There's tons of people in the investing niche and in the real estate, the exit strategy niche, but he's able to make that work, okay? And begin with his message, market and media, which are what, wish I could hear you scream it out, but I'll go and say it for you on your behalf, the 3 M's. With the message, with the market, and with the media, he found top clients, and the guys they're paying top fees. His average spend for a client is well over $100,000, and that's a good transaction. Okay. So refresher, guys, who knows what that is? You should know it by now. There's your triangle. There's your 3M magnetic marketing triangle for the message, the market, and the media, okay? Because magnetic marketing teaches you how to be the dominant player in your market, which is an obsession of mine, big time, by choosing the right message to the right people and with the right media source that produces results. So let's go through a further example of how cluttered my market is. Because I know a lot of you are still thinking, as I said earlier this morning, well, Marty, man, there's just too many competitors, but I get it. But let's look at my B2C business, for business to consumer, for my music schools. I got Guitar Center, Music and Arts, School of Rock, Bach to Rock. These are companies with millions, if not billions, in capital, okay? Especially Guitar Center with all the retail they do, all right? But you know what happens? After all these years of doing this, and I've been in my B2C business for 20 years, I am the #1 player, not only in my market, but probably in the country. for what I do at my size. Now, are there some that are bigger? And some of my students, which is really cool about coaching, I'll get to that in a second, some of my clients have gotten even bigger. So if I'm doing 2.4 million, so some of them are doing 10, which I love that. That's what good teachers do, right? So, and I'm also I'm competing not only with the national chains and other people that want to be independents, but I'm competing with a variety of businesses for the same dollars for kids, because I'm kids services, okay? So, this is what I'm up against. I'm up against dance, sports, gymnastics, drama, grades, video games, Netflix, whatever, okay? So there's a lot of noise in my market. But the key to making this work, guys, is that we talked about on day one. Here's the key. You identify your ideal customer, but market to them directly and with the right media. That goes back to the triangle, which we're going to go over and over and over again until you master it for yourself so you can be a master of magnetic marketing. Now, here's another big key for today. So let's pause for a second. Grab your pen. It's you against the world, and it's you against haphazard marketing. Okay? What normally the world does is they do something once, and they do it haphazardly. They wake up, they have their coffee. Oh, man, you know what? I forgot to send out that email today. Email's got to go today. Okay, fine. That's not a system, okay? Or, hey, you know what? The phone's not ringing, and the emails are not coming in. Let's send out this marketing piece or get an ad going or whatever. But that's what the majority of the world does. But what you guys are going to do, specifically, and we're going to talk a lot about today, especially with our guests coming up, a 3-step sequence, is you're not only going to market one on a system on a regular basis and stop doing it haphazardly. What you're going to do is you're going to do it in sequences and multiple sequences. So you're going to somebody 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And that's what ClickFunnels is to me. I mean, that's the beauty of the automation of the funnel, okay? So, something special for you. Let's hear from the man himself. I want you to enjoy this video clip, again, from Dan Kennedy, the man, the myth, the legend. And he's going to discuss and break down for you the 3-step sequence. Here we go.
Multimedia.
Right.
And you want multi-step. And ideally, you want the steps linked so that you are acknowledging to people, I'm showing up for the 3rd time, I'm showing up for the 5th time, I'm showing up for the 7th time.
Really important concept.
And almost, 80% of all marketing that you would compete with is one shot, and then either quit or give up for a while. Hardly anybody uses what came out, which is where this came out of the collection industry, out of the Dunning letter model of first notice, second notice, third notice, each one getting progressively sterner as it goes along. You find very little of that. If you've ever moved into a new home, so everybody rents the list of new move-ins, and they mail to them once.
Right.
They don't mail a 6-step sequence. They don't drive people to a website so that they can then also add a 6-step email sequence.
Right.
They don't do it.
Right.
And so the persistence that is built into this, which is different than perceived pursuit, because we always get people to ask for it.
Right.
Rather than foist it on them, is extremely important, as is multimedia.
Right.
Because different people process information different ways.
It could be the same message, too.
Same message.
Right. Yeah, same message. So, again.
All right. So, again, what's so vital about everything Dan just said to you again, and let's talk again, it is you against the world, guys. If you're really going to be, achieve the success you want to achieve the success of the sales you want to achieve, and everything you're here to do is follow up, follow up, follow up. Show of hands on the Zoom, because I can see you Zoomers. Who right there has, by show of hand, had one company in the past 30 days follow up with them? Raise your hand. Okay, so I see like 10%. Keep your hands up if 2 companies have followed up. Keep your hands up if 3 companies have followed up. All right, almost all the hands are gone. Okay, so this is a key slide of having a system of follow-up. That's what we're going to talk about with the 3 steps with you guys. We've got some great demo, all right? And it's essential for you to be a magnetic marketer. And the cool thing is it's easy to do. And what I love about it is, remember guys, I got 80 people working for me, as I've said. They are doing it on my behalf because I've set up the system and they're pushing the button. You got that? Okay, so let's get more specific. Here's how I use magnetic marketing to attract my perfect client instead of chasing them. Here's the big writer-downer, okay? As I said, it's you against the world. Take this to heart, guys, write it down. You have to stop doing what everybody else is doing, because that's our nature as humans. We see, well, that's what this major corporation's doing, or that's what the competitor I hate is doing, so we got to do that too. No, That's the wrong thing, and you want to do the opposite of what they're doing, okay? Because what everybody else is doing, so for example, in my niche, here's some specifics with my niche. And a lot of your niches as well. You see this all the time. The ones that are failing are, one, they're trying to bait with free. Now, I don't do free. And I got a really good example for you guys this morning. But what I do is I bundle. I want you to write that down. I will bundle to make that happen. So this is an example of how to set up a system. I was saying, okay, well, cool, we get this, message, market, media, but let's look at a system for doing this. And this is what we do with ours, which is our Christmas bundle, okay? Now, every Christmas we stuff the stocking with music lessons. So what my competitor would do is say, hey, come in for Christmas, first lesson free, go try guitar. And you know what happens after the lesson? The student walks out the door and they're never seen again. And it's the end, okay? We would capture their information, and what we do with ours is they have to pay to get the free stuff. So here's all the free stuff they get. Fully stuffed stocking, ready for the hearth. That's what the picture was. They get a month of lesson certificate, first lesson free with the special. But remember, they're still giving us a card, and what is the real inside of baseball when to go to the end is they're still enrolling, okay? Because we're going to put them automatically into the continuity of enrolling. And we've had no complaints, and we've had no problems, okay? It's one of our most popular promotions. Let's keep going through the bundle. $25 music retail certificate for books, supplies. Make it fun. Make it stand out. Do you think Guitar Center or Shaq is putting out candy canes? This guy. And actually, I'm not doing it all because I give my employees company cards. They get all the stuff, and they're making this happen, all right? Instrument Big Goodie. So this is huge because, now remember we talked about yesterday with Dr. Jewell about not only having messages, but messages for different stuff. So it's got to be one message for guitar parents, one message for drum parents, one message for voice parents, one message because they're all I had years ago, I had a voice student say to me, well, I got your information, but it's not saying enough about voice lessons. And I was kind of irked at the moment, but I was like, you know what, she's right. She's right. So I started to use voice vernacular, voice pictures, and really getting my message. That's the whole big thing, stepping up my message. So what can you do at home, guys, with this awesome week to step up your message? Please put that down. Step up your message and get even tighter. You already have probably a good message, maybe a great message, but what can you do to have multiple ones that are even better? Let's keep rocking. So drummers are getting drumsticks. Well, now we got them. They're happy. Drummers are kind of like Animal for the Muppets. If they got a stick in their hands, that's all they're thinking about is banging on stuff. And one of my favorite clients is you got a drummer for life. Guitar players, tuners, all right. Voice and piano students get theory cards, and I still got more. $25 registration voucher. Now here's a big one. If they can't pick it up, we'll ship it to them for free. The value, here's another big one. $174, their cost $99. We're still getting the card. Call to action, multiple ways to respond, okay? The link, call or text, stop by in person, and of course another big one, expires this date. So as you watch the replays, and if you're VIP, you get the replay for life. If you're not VIP, go ahead and get a VIP upgrade because you want access. There's so much stuff going on between me and the guests and the Q&A, so you're going to want to have this for a long time to change your business, all right? So what's the system? And this is the bridge I'm trying to connect with you guys today. The system is simple. It's Christmas. We know we got to be doing this. And not only do I know it, but my managers know it, the marketing team knows it, and that's the system. But what's everybody else doing? Oh man, it's December 15th. Have we started the stockings yet? No. All right, we better go get the stuff, and now we only got 7 days. Like, that's how most people operate. They're full of excuses between their family, their kids, their dog ate their MacBook, or whatever happened, but having a system, okay? All right, let's keep working here. So again, the whole goal, guys, is to have your predictable results and predictable cash flow, okay? So to that end, another way you can make a system, and what I love about this, you heard it talk about yesterday, I think, if my numbers are correct, I think Stephen Oliver has 8 books. I think Dr. Jewell has 5 and more coming. I think David and Vance had around 3. Granted, I'm the slacker in the group. I have 1. And a second will come in, but I'm working on it. But another way you can make a system is with your book. And this is a great thing to do, and you can recycle it in a variety of different ways, from audio to transcripts to all kinds of stuff. But if you want to check mine as a point of reference, I'm going to break it down for you today. Ultimate Guide to Music Lessons, okay? It's a #1 Amazon bestseller. And what was really cool about that is when we had our #1, we actually beat out Alice Cooper for his book on the charts. So that was exciting, okay? Now, here's the inside baseball with this book. It does not talk really much about me at all. I hope you all heard that. It talks about me a little bit, but the main thing is there's some positioning. Having the book at all, hear the out, guys. If you just get the book out, you have immediate authority. People that have books, I prefer print books, but if you want to stick with ebook, at least that's half of the way. That's immediate. It's like instant coffee, instant authority, okay? But the goal of the book, with my message, going to my ideal customer, my avatar, the parents, is parent language, parent psychology. Here's a big one. Parent scenarios. So we talked a lot about the past 2 days about their emotional triggers. What are they thinking about to help you increase your sales and increase your conversions? Well, what moms and dads are thinking about is it going to be safe? Okay? So what we have is, let's get my slide, forgive me, unique security features that my competitors do not do. I can tell you right now, the security features we do with our cameras, 7 background checks on teachers, glass on every window, office staff always there. There's so many places that they can't afford staff. So your 8-year-old kid is alone with the teacher and there's no staff around, not good. But we focus hard on that, and that's why we've grown to the millions that we do in revenue, okay? Because my competitors won't do it. Because again, if I was thinking like my competitors, what would I do? Oh, we can't afford office staff. No, office staff is essential, and that's going against the grain, all right? That's a big one. Photos to build trust. Different media, and we promote the book on radio. And now how to choose the right radio, that's a lot easier than you think. Just talk to your customers. We had a big discussion on this in the VIP Q&A yesterday. I can guarantee you we will talk about it today in the VIP Q&A, that a lot of you just don't have enough information on what your clients are thinking. Dr. Jewel on day 2 broke down perfectly with Kristen on exactly what Kristen's thinking, okay? And what your clients will tell you, they're happy to talk to you. They can't believe a business is talking to them at all. So they're happy to share with you what they're thinking, what their goals are, their concerns about Medicare, their concerns about karate. And Stephen Oliver also in his presentation gave great things about, it's not really about, going to the World Olympics for karate. It's about improving self-esteem and all that. Okay, so again, ask your customers where they are. We're going to go through more of that, okay? So how to make your message connect. Again, what are they thinking? Say it with me. Emotional triggers. Okay? What are their desires? What are their fears? All right? Let's go through dad examples. We talked a lot about moms this week, and really we didn't engineer it that way. It just kind of came out organically. But dads, same thing. All the dads are wired different. I am a dad, and my daughter's 7. Is my kid going to actually learn how to do this? Well, that's a dad thought, okay? And here's a big dad one. Will it be worth the money? Okay, they're putting this money out now. I'm telling you, so that's a big concern, is proving to them of the value. We talked about the value proposition yesterday, okay? And the component of the 18 components of a good message, okay? Is it going to be worth the money? Is the teacher qualified? Is this just some dude from the Guitar Shack who looks cool and has got a cool T-shirt but really doesn't know how to teach guitar, and then 3 months later they've wasted all this money and the kid hadn't learned anything? That's a dad concern, okay? But I have to deal with in my message that no, we're going to have recitals and awards, and the karate guys always go back to Stephen. They got that down on lock, that the parents see the social proof. My daughter had karate last night, okay? Will I see a result? And that's why we do recitals, and so that kind of thing, all right? So our mission, guys, right in. Here we go. Everybody, I know it's early, but everybody sit up, take a breath, grab your pen. You got to dial in the right media. And as we said yesterday, I know some of you are so big on the online thing. Keep going. You need to be in both. You need to be in both, especially those of you who are doing high-end stuff. Anything you can do to get them from the online, Facebook, Instagram, Google, where you find them, to offline conversations, offline communications. That's going to help your sales a lot, all right? So again, if you don't know, do a survey. Here's a simple way to do it. You can do SurveyMonkey. You can do whatever, but you want to look at, what are they watching? Are they watching The Mandalorian? Are they watching Fox News? Are they watching CNN? I don't care, but we just have to find out what that is and where they are. What do they listen to? Are they listening to podcasts? Are they listening to Audible books? Or are they listening to terrestrial radio? But whatever that is, you've got to find that out. We had a person the other day, she was working in the field of construction. Well, and I'm not, nothing against construction guys. They're probably not in Audible. They probably more likely are getting in the truck and on the way listening to satellite radio or terrestrial radio and watching certain cable channels. And that's super, super, super instructive of how you're going to find them and how you're going to sell to them. What socials do they use? Do they use socials at all? You have to realize that a lot of people are in socials, a lot of people are not, okay? Here's one of the big things I look at. Where do they eat? Where do they shop? Now, here's the big thing, guys. Your homework, we're going to go through homework for day 3 at the end. The part of going to prep for your homework is, for life, you got to take the list from here, okay? You guys got to take the list from here. Now, we'll talk about for a second free reports. This is a big thing with Dan. That what Dan taught me, and we do this in my B2B, and we do it in B2C, you can do it in funnels, you can do it whatever, okay, is a lot of people just want to go straight for the jugular. Okay, I have this, buy this. Boom. And there's no, communication, there's no lead-in, there's no trust building, there's no message. So the free report, what it does is it helps you to, and this is a big one straight from Dan, to avoid the big leap, even if it's signing up for chiropractic services, whether it's closing the deal on a Medicare account, whether it's investing with David Phelps, it's a big leap for these people. So how they work in my B2C, business to customer businesses is I basically put them in a new wrapper. So here's the big thing, guys. My Amazon best-selling book is basically a free report. Now, it would not be an Amazon bestseller if it said Marty's free report. No one's going to buy that, Now, of course, you can use the free report vernacular, and you see it all the time with investment companies. If you're looking at, somebody asked us the other day, I think about reverse mortgages. I can't remember who it was. And so, here's a free report on reverse mortgages and what to do, and boom, boom, boom. And that's fine, okay? But there's different ways to do it. You can have a true free report, which he would do for reverse mortgages on these are the things to avoid, these are the things to know. And I'm going to go through some examples of that with some copy for you today. But also, books, in a lot of ways, so many of the published books are essentially free reports. All right, so what do I do with mine? Let's get specific. In my book, I talk about the following. And you model this template for what you're doing and what you sell and who you serve. What's the right age to start lessons? Parents don't know. What to expect after the first lesson? That's a big one. This is always the story I tell. Children are not wired the same way we are. If you have a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old child, what the parent wants after the lesson is they want to get in the car, and the parent says, how did the lesson go? First lesson. They say, well, we worked on these scales, and I worked on this page, I worked on that. But is that how a 7-year-old thinks? No, what does the 7-year-old do? How'd the lesson go today? Good, back on the phone. And the parent's livid, right? And they're about to quit the sale. This first lesson was horrible. We hate this. We're not going to you. We want a refund. But do you see what I did with my message and my system? Because it's a system that if you're onboarding with us, we're going to frame for you what to expect after the first lesson. That is a system, guys, which is what today is focused on, is the systems of applying magnetic marketing, okay? And I can't say this one enough because, again, we talk about the 3 emotional things. You can't hit this hard enough because humans are emotional creatures. We are hyper emotional creatures in our purchase decisions, whether it's a funnel, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, it's all emotion. But keeping kids safe for what I do, I'm really not in the music business. I'm in the kid business. That's the business I'm in. I would offer, and we'll talk later, if you guys may not agree, but you're in the insurance business, but you're really in the people 65 plus helping them. You're helping them to feel better about their health and that kind of thing. And if you look at Dr. Jules, she's definitely done that with all of her books and stuff. So think about their emotions, and you can't hit that one hard enough. But here's the big one. So let's go through some examples I put together for you. So here's an example of a headline for a medical free report. Here we go. Check it out. And again, on the replay, you can write it down. I know I talk fast. I got a lot of stuff prepared for you guys. But again, the VIP replay, you can watch this again and put it to use. 10 things you should know when choosing your primary physician. Okay? Well, that's intriguing because, well, what are the 10 things? And what should we know? And we do get to choose the physician. Supplement example. I like this one a lot. 5 things drug makers do not want you to know. Okay? So you've broken it down to 5. You've made it easy. And you're revealing that there's stuff that they don't want them to know. And now they're very curious, well, what in the world is that? Here's another one. The 3 things in your house that can cause health problems that you're using every day. Now that goes back to the parent thing, because they have kids, maybe they have their parents live, they have elderly people living with them. Well, they don't want them to get harmed by chemicals and certain stuff. And by God, they want to know if the stuff they're buying at the national super chain is going to hurt them. Okay, so again, all I'm doing here with the message is looking at the market, and I'm looking at the message, and I'm making it a system via free reports, okay? So if you want more specifics, let's go to some specific examples. I'll give you one for, let's say it was a restaurant. This is just kind of templates for you to plug in, all right? So you gotta have a top-ranking website, lead capture, build a list, CTA with text, which is a call to action, direct mail to the list, offer, direct mail to the list, I put that twice. Let's see, it's not moving, there you go. It's not that I put it twice, it's not moving. Now it's moving, so let me back up, because I'm going fast here. Okay, so text to the list, and this is what I want to say next. So next up will be direct mail to the list. The next one will be the Ruth Chris model. If you guys know Ruth Chris, the national chain. Again, they don't do free, but what they will do for me all the time, and this is a system that they have made, is I'll get follow-up emails saying, okay, come in for this date and buy dinner, which at Ruth Chris is going to be $100 a person, and with this email, you're going to get free dessert. Now, who wins? Them or me? I mean, I get to eat, and that's cool, but that's their system. And they've got me, it's the same thing, guys, but they're not waking up going, oh man, the restaurant's empty. But and see, I've seen bad marketers. I've seen people so clumsy on Facebook at restaurants go, literally say this, it's 7 o'clock, no one's here, please come down to the restaurant and join us. Well, that's like saying to somebody, I have no date tonight, are you free? Because we need to go. I mean, like, it's just that total chasing, and it all goes back to the original of going from annoying pest to welcome guest. But when Ruth Chris is consistently dripping on me, that's a good system, okay? You see other examples of that, frequent diner clubs. This is a big one. I've got a very successful friend in the restaurant business. He built his entire business via his newsletters, but he makes good newsletters, and he makes them weekly, okay? Of course, you got your socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So I want to pause for a second. So guys, you just now have to start filling in the blanks. That's a system versus haphazard marketing. Because remember, random acts of marketing lead to random cash flow, random income, random success. You don't want random success, you want consistent success. Let's go to a coaching consulting system example, okay? Really similar, website, lead capture, building the list, text with CTAs, direct mail, bundle offers, shows you a great example of that. Bonuses, retention awards, and remember the big takeaway from day 2. The right message. Most business owners have a system of one, and it's a haphazard one, okay? Around here, haphazard is a bad word. Haphazard is a very bad word. System is one of the best words, okay? So again, we talked about this the other day, but it's so crucial. You got to go from having one thing you do, which right now for you may be your email or maybe your socials, or what was somebody yesterday was their Facebook, and get you to 20 things. So let's look at some other examples I gave you to kind of help teach this. Yoga studio, website, lead captures, is starting to sound familiar, build the list, text, direct mail, bundle offers, intro free intro class if they pay, member club. This is a big one, I don't know if you guys saw this. So my wife does yoga, and one of my friends runs a yoga studio, so they do like yoga with goats. Now, the little baby goats come in and they do yoga, and they're on their back. And I don't want to goat on my back, especially with this amazing gray hair I have. It would probably be eating my hair, and who knows what the goat would do. But it's a great marketing ploy, and it's a lot of fun, and it gives them then stuff to talk about in their newsletters to show the pictures of, hey, we had goat day, and how cute was this, and whatever, you know. But it's a system they do, and they're dedicated to it, again. And it's not all about having to do it yourself. We talked yesterday in the VIP chat to a gentleman. It's about delegating it through others, and that's why I have a huge team, so I can be here with you today, okay? But you got to get your message right, guys. Again, the bad message pitfalls to avoid. Please write these down. We'll go a little slower. Weak headline, followed by weak copy, followed by weak offer. You can't come from a position of weakness. It's got to be a magnetic marketing position of strength. So again, systems, guys. I cannot pound this enough this morning. Let's go through simple systems. Automation, ClickFunnels, one of the most amazing systems in the world, right? Google reminders, you know. So in conclusion, the simplest way that I can break down this system for you this morning before we bring our special guests up, and we want to talk about the big session we're going to do this afternoon, okay, is put your USP, your unique selling proposition, your message, in front of the right audience, your market, and using the right platform, the medium. And remember, guys, I'm a guy that made my own ultimate marketing machine, which is what we call the UMM. And I gave you some killer examples today of it. You've seen what it's done for me. You've seen what it's done for our guests. And it's not that hard. It's really not hard. It's actually more fun. And as I was talking to some of the guests on the breaks, the common thread we all said is life just gets better. Business gets better. You can take the vacations you want, live the life you want, and all that kind of stuff. All right? So you need one too. So your big one today, guys, in summation, okay? Systems to the right customer, your ideal avatar, with the right message, the right media where they are. So right now, let's go and get ready, okay? So you need to go to, it's not catching me up. This is the link, magneticmarketingchallenge.com/day3. Your homework, you need to go to magneticmarketingchallenge.com/day3, okay? Now, it's very important today. I want you to join us for the live Q&A. The live Q&A is amazing. It's your chance to come on. Again, as I said, if you haven't done already, everybody in the Zoom, everybody in the chat, you guys are seeing that. But you Facebook people that are streaming right now, you got to come to join us today. So all you Facebook people that are streaming, you're not getting the full experience. The full experience is being on Zoom, being in the chat, which has been nonstop. So thank you guys for that. We love it. Keep it coming. But we want to see you today. Work with us because we're going to work with you to answer questions for the challengers, and you get to hear other people get their stuff done. You're going to have a full panel of all three of our guests today. It's going to be awesome, okay? So here's how this works. We're going to give it to you for free, and I want to explain and break down what that means. So if you upgrade to VIP, you'll get it for free. VIP is normally $197, but for this week, you get special VIP access to our Zoom. And again, we get this comment all the time about how much people love this. It's awesome. And for me, myself, as a coach and a business owner, I learned as well, and it's just a blast. We want to see you on that, okay? Now, again, you're going to get the VIP replays. You saw there's so much stuff we went over this morning, and we got more for day 4, more for day 5, more later today. So you're going to want to have the replays so you can watch them over and over again, okay? Now, another big key piece to this is what we call the most incredible free gift ever, all right? That's this big box. I'm sure I got on camera. It's huge, but it's filled with all this awesome stuff. And I want to go over the contents of what's inside here. And the nickname we use for it's called the Mifky, okay? Most incredible free gift ever. First of all, you're going to get Dan Kennedy's Magnetic Marketing book. And this is essential. It's a quick read. Reinforces so many of the core concepts you've done this week during the challenge. So go ahead and get this book for free by upgrading to VIP, okay? Now, the next thing you're going to get, which is fantastic and amazing, the 74 funnel file from Funnel U. I mean, just look at the size of this thing. All this great stuff you can model, check out. A lot of work went into this. It'll be awesome step up for your business, okay? We got a lot more to go with that, though, and I think one of the really, really cool things is, somebody asked about this yesterday, is with this, you're also going to get online courses, okay? There's 3. And there are some classic Dan Kennedy courses. First is the Renegade Time Management, okay? Midas Touch Marketing and Selling. And again, one of my personal faves, and all of my colleagues that I'm really close with, is the Brass Balls Factor. If you haven't got that, it's just an amazing, amazing resource. Now, some of you in the chat, and I see there, have asked about community. Well, if you want community, you want to meet other entrepreneurs, you want to expand your network, you go into the No BS 30-day newsletter, okay? So every 30 days this comes out, and that's part of it, getting it for free as well, if you upgrade to VIP, okay? Now, we want to give you this for free. Again, it's normally $197, but you got 2 options, all right? Option 1, you can go ahead and now pay $197, you get all the stuff, and that's it. But if you want it for free, if you want to get everything in the package, and you want to come on the Zoom today and work with us in an intimate setting and really, dig deep on this stuff, this is how this works out. 30 days from now, if you love the newsletter, it'll keep coming, and you get billed $97 a month. But if you don't like it, you can cancel at any time, and you still keep your VIP access, the lifetime swipe files, and more for free. So this is what I need you to do right now, okay? We're going to be starting the Zoom shortly. We got our 2 speakers, then we're going to go to the Zoom. I need you to go to this link. Get started at this link, magneticmarketingchallenge.com/start-now. magneticmarketingchallenge.com/start-now. Okay, it's going to be awesome. All right? So with that said, now let's see here. I'm checking my schedule. Let's make sure I got this right. All right, okay, so we need to change this slide, but I got this. All right, here we go. Okay, so Very excited to bring up some new friends of mine to the stage. They are insurance agents. They work in the Medicare industry, and they are magnetic marketers, and you're going to learn a lot from them. So please put your hands together. Welcome Scott and Lenore Mazenko. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Well, thank you for being here. Good morning. Good morning, Scott. How are you? Thank you for being here. Okay, cool. Well, while they get your slides ready and everything, big question for you guys to kick off. Like, so you're insurance agents. You specialize in Medicare and have people get their plans. And also, well, I think it's cool. I was on your site and checking it out. You also educate them. You know, you've done this for a long time and you help them navigate in really cool ways. Okay, so you've obviously found the message, because that message spoke to me if I was a potential person. So awesome job with your stuff. And maybe if you don't mind, you can share your website address if that's already in your slides, and whatever, so they can check it out. But big question I want to kick off with this morning, Scott and Lenore, is how long have you been in the Kennedy world? What was your entry point? What year basically did you start with magnetic marketing and Dan Kennedy?
I would say I started getting the gold letter around the early or mid 2000s, around 2010. 2011. Okay. At the time, we were currently building a network marketing business with a company called Melaleuca, which is actually out here in Idaho Falls. Okay. And I started to learn some of the direct marketing techniques, the magnetic marketing, but I never utilized them in what we did. Okay. So that was our first exposure to it.
All right, awesome. Well, let me give you this clicker. You got it. You guys got some great slides about today, and let me do one thing real quick. I'm gonna get my questions pulled up. Lenore, did you want to throw in something real quick?
Well, yeah. So, my background is in corporate America. Scott had always been very interested in the marketing end of things. And I read some of the magnetic marketing things, but it really wasn't until later on that we really started using the system for magnetic marketing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's kind of my question one. You kind of blend into it. And like I said, we're just going to have a nice chat for 20 minutes to get some great stuff. And they're going to demonstrate for you guys. We talked about follow-up in the last session. You're going to show them an awesome 3-step sequence. It's so important to have sequences, systems of follow-up, okay? But the first thing I'm curious about with you guys, again, kind of go more into that, Lenore and Scott. Tell us more about, where business and life were when you found magnetic marketing. Life was hard, couldn't change, and maybe you tried marketing and it failed. So kind of take us back to where you were and where you are now.
I think where we were is we were at the point of either inspiration or desperation. We had just through a business failure, a business bankruptcy, we had a Dairy Queen franchise, and a lot of business owners, it was our first business. We ended up going bankrupt. And what happened was, of course, like most people, we used our house to secure an SBA loan, and we had recently moved out of the house after the foreclosure, and we moved into a very small little boathouse on a lake. I absolutely hated it. And I thought to myself, if we don't do something to generate leads for our business, for Medicare, from my actually trade, I was an underwater construction diver in New York City. Wow. And I said, I don't want to spend the rest of my life putting a diving helmet on and getting up 3:30 in the morning to work out, then go to work and come home and do it over and over and over until I'm dead. Right. I said, so we were at the make or break movement. Yep. And that's really when we discovered and decided to put into place the 3-step sequence. Nice. So that was around August 2018 as we did our first mailing. And Lenore was the one that really kind of composed those letters, so she could tell you a little bit more about how she came up with the idea of it.
Yeah, so tell us more about that before we go to the slide. Tell us more about the 3-step, and also, if you could, because we got plenty of time. Sure. We'd love to hear more about the lead generation to your letter. So just tell us everything you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So Scott said we had a franchise and it had failed. I worked in corporate America and for large companies, Fortune 500, and we really, starting out on our own, we didn't have the toolbox we needed. We didn't have this giant marketing group to help us with marketing. So we started using the magnetic marketing system, reading some of the Dan Kennedy books, and really diving into what Dan says about knowing your market. Our market is 65 and over. Okay. And I'm not 65, Scott is not 65, so I started listening to the music, reading the books, seeing the movies that genre likes.
And if I could just jump in for a second.
Sure.
So everybody at home, I hope you're taking notes, because this is why we bring the guest speakers. Everything you just said is huge. Yeah. And these are the big writer down I heard from you, okay? Number one, if you guys caught it, they've identified, and you also make it known in your message on your website, okay? Yeah. But if you don't mind sharing, what is your website?
It's the Medicare Authority.
But what's the address?
MedicareAuthority.com.
Okay, MedicareAuthority.com if you want to follow along at home. Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
But one of the things on there, it says specifically, the whole 65 thing. So you've identified your age.
That's right.
We had somebody came in the other day, and we said, well, who do you serve? They said, well, people 5 to 75. Well, we narrowed that down. We narrowed it down to 5 to 15, and now we're getting somewhere with that, okay? The other thing I thought was so cool that you said, Lenore, was, and what's also I think is amazing is, you didn't see my presentation for today, and here we are, and this has been happening over and over and over again with our speakers as we're saying the same stuff with our synergy. And so everything I put out there, you found out what they listen to. You found out what they are. So for everybody at home that's really trying to get your systems down and your message to market and your ideal customer, that's just perfect. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to pounce on that because that's huge. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I knew we needed to connect with our demographic in a way that would be effective. And we couldn't compete with the large insurance companies, the Blue Crosses, United Healthcares, and so forth. So how can we make ourselves different? And we came up with a 3-letter sequence in a language pattern that really worked to connect with our client. It allows them to keep the letter in hand, and they hold on to this.
Yeah.
So it's not something that goes away. If they're not ready now, they'll be ready in a year from now. And just because I'm a really good Medicare advisor doesn't mean people are going to know that and pick up the phone. So the letter is personalized to them, and it allows them to know me and want to talk to me about Medicare. So we have those, Scott. If you just want to
fire away.
Take a look at that.
So this will be our first letter that we created in the sequence.
One more, Scott. There. Yeah. So this letter.
I think you were good. Go back to the previous one.
I'm sorry.
Oh, 100%. Yep. There
Yeah. So this is our first letter, and you can see it as my picture. I really didn't want my picture there, but people need to see me, and it talks to them, identifying all their frustrations. What are their issues, not mine? So it identifies their issues, connects with them, it has a call to action, and it offers them a free report. And that was, that was a pretty big breakthrough for us because, we had a book, but, we didn't always get it out to the client, and the book was great. But then this was another way to just check us out. Right. And we used the magnetic marketing system. Really, that helped us get our lead gen where we needed it to be. We pretty much tripled our business.
And something
right?
I'd like to add to this, because if there are other insurance agents that are watching this, one of the greatest frustrations for people, especially in our industry in the Medicare niche, was acquiring clients. When I first started out in the insurance industry, I worked for a company called Bankers Life. And what we did was we spent 2 days a week cold calling people, telling them we were going to deliver the Medicare updates. I'd schedule 8 appointments. I would go to the person's house with my trainer. Half the people, 4 people wouldn't show up. The other 2 people, maybe 1 or 2 would buy, and the other 2 weren't qualified. So that's where we were at. And there were some changes in the market that happened where people were no longer able to get full Social Security at age 65 at the same time they got their Medicare benefits. So my lead generation was a pink card that we would send out in the mail from a company called Kramer Direct, and it just talked about Medicare updates. And I literally would go to people's houses, knock on the door, and say, what did you have in mind when you sent in the pink card? And I taught Lenore how to do that. So a lot of you guys if you've ever done door-to-door, whether it's energy or meat deliveries or insurance, you can relate to that. That is a tough gig. And where we really had the aha moment was when the COVID hit in New Jersey, where we lived, they locked everything down and they had a curfew. So you couldn't do business as usual. So that's when these letters stepped in, and we were able to literally go from 320 clients in August of 2018 to over 3,700 clients now. It literally tripled our business. So I just want to let everybody know that's kind of where we were coming from when we decided to institute this.
Awesome. Let's see some more.
Sure. Now, this would be what the free report. You can see here it's circled that Lenore talked about. This was another aha moment for us. Yes, we had the letters, and people would basically read the letter and call us, but we needed a way to get some more tentacles into them. And that's when we talked to Darcy, and we were going through the Ultimate Marketing Machine, which is a fantastic course that really helps you build your system, and that's what we did. We added a free report. And that free report, we used a ClickFunnels page. The website was getmedicarereport.com, and that allowed people to get in the door if they weren't ready for that big step of picking up the phone. It allowed them to get in the door, get a report, get follow-up emails, and stay in contact with us until they were ready. So that would have been the PS there. Now, the second letter, this basically did was just reinforce the message of the first letter. Well, you didn't call us off the first letter, maybe you call off the second letter. Where we got the most traction was the third letter. It was a letter we created with a grabber. So it's like literally a little wooden nickel inside of it. And when you send it postage, now it's $1 or $2 in the mail to send that postage. What people feel is hardness in the envelope, and out of curiosity, they open the envelope just to see what's in there. And this was probably, we got the greatest response off of the third letter because of the uniqueness of it.
Yeah. Is it okay if I add something, Marty?
Absolutely. And then I'll pause there because I got some questions, but absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So for me, I came from a corporate background, and our business was at maybe 10 clients a month. And I knew in order for our business to be financially sound that I needed to have double that. When we started using the letter, and particularly the third letter with the grabber, the round wooden nickel, our response rate was huge. We got maybe a double, triple. My phone would ring. I didn't have to call people.
We would send out 1,000 letters, and we would get 20 to 30 inbound calls.
Wow. So you're kind of guiding me exactly where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So one of the things Scott and Lenore, people on the challenge, are struggling with is, they know who their ideal customer is. They're getting their message down. They've got a little bit of systems, but they're struggling with getting a really robust system. And as far as I know from you guys, you have a way, if you could tell us more about your logistics of, I think it's weekly, you're able to find people, get the data on people that are 65 plus.
Yeah.
And then there's a process, and then get them on the phone. So do you mind sharing, take us through that system? Because that's a perfect example of a system of them getting right to your ideal avatar.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I had been using, and I still continue to use, is a website called Sales Data Pro.
Okay, Sales Data Pro.
SalesDataPro.com. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to, as best as the data can, basically what I do is I look for people that are turning 65 7 months from now.
Right.
So if we're in January, I would be downloading a list, and it would be for July. So I would put their birth date in there, the birth month and the birth year. Number 2, I would want them to be a verified homeowner. They also allow you to get a credit rating on them. So I want to make sure their credit rating is 650 and above. And I also want to make sure that they speak English. Because if they call and they can't communicate with me or Lenore, it's kind of a waste of time. So I set parameters, and what those parameters have done is, in addition to the letters, 80 to probably 85% of our business is affluent clients. So when I say an affluent client is when people turn 65 and they're eligible for Medicare. The Medicare premium they pay, what is the Medicare premium now?
164 now.
Is 164. So that is also income-based. So people that make over $750,000 a year can pay up to how much?
Almost $600 a month.
Right. So you're looking at a husband and a wife paying over $1,200 a month. But what I find out, because I transitioned them into another system for the financial services, and we're going to go over that later, is I find out right up front when Lenore goes through a presentation with somebody how affluent they are. So our letter kind of pre-qualifies that person for me to talk to in the next conversation when we go through a transition.
Yep. So, perfect. Can we check out, tell us about, I love the title, tell us about Client Reignite. Can we check that out, Scott?
Okay, so this is something that I thought it works so well that we could reignite clients with a new idea, a new offer. For years, we were very good at getting people in the door. Like I said, we started doing this in August of 2018 were our first letters that hit the mail, and we did about 2,000 pieces. But some of the things that we left off on the back end was the follow-up. So we would have thousands of clients, and we needed to reignite the relationships with some of them. So in the Medicare world, from October 15th to December 7th every year, they call something called AEP, or Annual Enrollment Period, which allows you to connect with the client and help them look at their prescription drugs and put them in a different plan that may be more economical for them, or maybe move them from the supplement plan or the Medicare Advantage plan we originally had them with to a newer one where they can get better services at a lower cost. So what this letter allowed us to do, and I'll pull it up, is this allowed us to get back in the door with the clients. And what we wanted to do is, in this letter, I know we had a couple bullet points. We wanted to pre-qualify them and say, hey, point one this, point two this, point through this. If you can answer yes to all these questions, give us a call, because what we could do is we could do an annual Medicare review on your policy and see if we can help you, save some money over the course of a year. So that was the first letter. And then the second letter, I love this letter the best because we just repeated the message on the first letter, but we added in, I went on Etsy.com, and if you've ever seen those guns, they're called money guns, where people shoot like paper money out of them. I had someone make these called Medicare bucks. And it had a QR code that would take you to the website. You can get a quote, but it was another way to get a call of action. So I said, let me try the QR thing. So we put it on that Medicare bucks there, and we had people, sign into it. So we had 2 letters there, and the response we got this year is typically, when we're done with open enrollment on December 7th, till the end of the year, things slow down because that's our busiest time. Lenore had actually had 12 to 13 appointments a day till the 1st of January this year. So that tells you how much this Reignite letter made a difference.
And I love all of it. So let's do this. You got some great slides. We're getting a little tight on time. Can we go through the rest of them? Because I love to hear everything you present. I'll make sure we get to everything.
Now, what I wanted to do next was I wanted to create a system that would allow us, in a structured manner, to take the 3,700 relationships we had with our clients, most of them being affluent, and start to move them into financial services, to income planning, because as everyone knows, the economy right now is very chaotic. You have the highest, interest rates in a number of years. Inflation's at a record high, and people's portfolios are taking a beating with what's going on in the market. So. What we did is we created a letter, and you talked about, Marty, going back to the client and asking the client for information so we can better craft our message. What can we do to better help them? So what we started hearing from a lot of people was they were concerned about long-term care, because maybe they're 65 years old, 70 years old, but they're taking care of their elderly parents in their house. Right. And there's all kinds of different asset movements and funding for long-term care and home health involved. So what we decided to do was we decided to create 2 things, an online survey and a paper survey. I had actually talked to Dan Kennedy. Darcy had gotten me in contact with Dan on a Q&A call. And he said, Scott, the majority of your clients you did it via paper. So what we did is we created a paper survey. Let's see if I can, yeah, there it is. Gotcha. So we created a paper survey, and what we did was we had the online survey, and I took a picture of it on the letter, as you can see from the slide before, but we also created a paper survey, and it asked them a couple questions. But if you look at the questions, it pre-qualified them to talk to them.
I love it.
And so we asked them if they could give us a little feedback. We were writing a new book, and we put a deadline on the bottom, just like Marty had put a deadline on his, I believe at the time was November 15th. And now, basically, we got between the online and the offline, the paper, we did the paper in yellow. Another thing we did with the letter was we did the original letter, we did the paper survey in a different color yellow, and we put a smaller letter with a stamp on it, a smaller envelope, with the stamp on it inside. So the hardest thing they had to do was fill out the survey, put it back in the letter, and throw it in the mail. We did everything for them. Did it cost more? Yes.
And let's quickly, I'll hear the last 3.
Sure.
And then I want to.
So with the second letter, I had shared my father's story. My father had an accident in his home, and he needed assisted living for almost 92 days. And I shared that story here, and I had an aha moment today when I talked to Darcy about this. Was what really was powerful about this letter is this letter really talks to our client. This is the message that goes on in their head at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm taking care of my elderly mom and dad. what do I do if this happens to me? Right. So this opened up the floodgates for us. So this is another aha magnetic marketing moment that I got from coaching with Darcy. Now so let me go back. This was actually the third question. This was the second letter, but I was talking about my dad's story. And then this will be the third letter. So this is just basically reinforcing the first two letters and getting people to reach out to us to either download a free report at getltcreport.com or to sign up to get a free copy of our book.
And so to kind of wind down on this, the three big things I'm hearing you guys say, if you agree, and I hope everybody does zooming in as well, is multi-step, system. One of the biggies, if you're studying this, guys, multiple ways to respond. So you saw with my presentation, and I know you guys are going to it, but it's awesome, is that with the Christmas bundle, you know what I mean? I'm not just saying, hey, call here or go here. It's like there's not just one link. If they want text, fine, text. If they want to stop in and grab it, fine. If they want to ship and sit on the couch and eat bonbons, we can make that happen too, okay? But listen, congratulations, guys. Thank you for sharing. Y'all give me a round of applause, guys. Scott and Lenore Mazingo. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Appreciate you. Okay. All right, guys, if we can get Gene's intro slide pull up, I'm telling everybody a little bit about our next guest. And again, so we got another guest coming up for you. And after that, guys, we're going to take a very brief break. But we want to see you on the Zoom today. We've got a power hour with you where you get to come on if you take the VIP upgrade, which is free, okay? And it's just awesome. So we know you're going to love it. So we want to see you on the Zoom. You're going to work with me, work with Scott, work with Lenore, work with Gene Kelly, and you get a chance to ask us questions, all that kind of good stuff, and it's going to be just amazing. So I've had a really good time. We got day 4 coming up, and we got day 5 coming up. All right. So am I good to go ahead and announce Gene? Thumbs up. Okay. So another good friend of mine, Gene Kelly, does all kinds of stuff. He's a serial entrepreneur, definite Renaissance man. And Gene, he does wine, he does coaching, he does gunsmithing, all kinds of stuff. So good morning, Gene Kelly. Everybody, round of applause for Gene.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So, Gene, can you hear me loud and clear?
I can.
All right. Well, good morning, and I hope you're having a great time in sunny California, all those nice vineyards and stuff you hang around. And a quick question for you before I turn it over to you, okay? Big question becomes, what year did you enter the world of Dan Kennedy? What year did you enter the world of magnetic marketing? Do you remember that year?
Yeah, I had to think about that, and actually, it was about 2004.
Okay.
That I started, but I went all in, and I'll tell you why I even needed magnetic marketing. I ended up in a business that I needed to help, and I found it through magnetic marketing.
Yep.
Did you want to ask me anything else before
No,
I roll
at this point, my friend, I'm going to turn it over for you for your presentation. So thanks for being here. I'll see you at the 20-minute mark, and enjoy, everybody. Gene Kelly, take it away.
All right. Hey, guys, if you own a business and you've ever struggled, I can relate to you, okay? I got started in my first business in the 1980s, and we were down to the last $100 literally in the checkbook. And if you guys know what the mid-'80s were like, early to mid-'80s, it was double-digit inflation. Recession, gas lines. It was just a mess. And so we needed to do something. And I discovered direct marketing for the products that we had. And so we went and got in that game. And I placed a little classified ad. I'd done some studying, and this is what led me to Dan eventually. But we placed a classified ad for a product we had developed for a niche market. It was very focused to a market we knew, and it answered a problem that they had and scratched an itch that they had. So literally going from broke, taking that last money to place that classified ad, and that's when you had to pay in advance even, and it was in a niche magazine. Well, when we got down to the post office about a week after this ad ran, literally the box was crammed with mail orders and checks. And there was even a note in there, come get the rest of your mail from the front. And to say we were excited would be an understatement. So we took that product and we eventually sold about $1 million in that product and helped fund the next part of our businesses. But problem. It was all one trick pony. All I knew how to do at that time was place an ad and sell something, like a one transaction. And so I kept searching about, learning about marketing and so on. And a buddy of mine gave me some cassettes, loaned me some cassette tapes by a guy named Dan Kennedy. And so I listened to those and went, holy cow, this is a whole nother world that I didn't even know about. So I listened to him a number of times through, and I encourage you, don't listen to stuff once, listen to it over and over again. And I use my car as my educational center because I swear to you, even when I've gone through something several times, I'll hear something differently and I'll go, what? Never heard that before. And so Dan has really been, and from an extension from Dan, the whole magnetic marketing family has been a huge blessing to me and allowed me to develop a lifestyle where I do go on trips to Africa for a couple of weeks at a time, and I travel internationally and have a lot of fun. And I've made my business my joy, if you will. I get to do the things I want to do. And and I've invested a lot over the years. I mean, I'm proudly one of Dan's, $250K club where I've spent over $250,000 for him. And I still look forward to getting the magnetic marketing newsletter every month. And I pretty much devour that when I get it. So one of my core businesses, some of the guys, you'll hear me and some of the older recording be referred to as Gene Machine Gun Kelly. And that's because I have been in the firearms industry for a lot of years, and we teach people to become gunsmiths. So a USP for that is become a certified gunsmith, study from home, study and work from home, making money part-time, full-time, or as retirement income, doing what you love in 90 days or less, guaranteed. And that is what we've been promoting for more than 20 years, and it's been growing. We've sold over $100 million in courses, video courses, training courses. We are a post-secondary approved school in the state of California. We're working on national accreditation. And all of that has allowed me to build some fairly significant wealth and allowed me to do things like Marty said, buy a vineyard in the Napa Valley, create a winery. And I'll talk about more of that in a second. But I want to show you a few things. We do everything from old school to new school because it's still all applicable. The tools in the toolbox don't quit. So here is, for example, a gun magazine. And there is a, get it on the right side. Over here, okay, a full page ad on getting your an information package sent to you, which has a special report, which is a sales letter, a cover letter. It contains a DVD still of video, and I know a lot of people don't have DVD players, but others do. Our demographic skews a bit older. So those are all, people that still have DVD players, and other people will go out and get a DVD player if they need it to watch it. But of course, they can get the same information online. But the point is, we're taking ads like those and also some retail products that we have, okay, of specific guns that cover specific guns. And we're using that as a first step in a multi-step funnel to take them from some offline advertising to online. And so we're driving people as much as we can to request the information online, get full contact information. And then we do multi-step follow-up. We will do follow-up by mail. And again, we have, all types of, quote, old school stuff that works. In fact, if you don't invest in this stuff, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. We send out letters. We send out postcards. We send out ugly postcards. Okay. I mean, postcards that have got circles on them. And hey, don't miss this. We use color postcards for specials. And, Christmas, give yourself a Christmas gift of a life change. And what we do is we really transform lives. And we even have, full catalogs that we'll mail. And I'll print these 100,000 at a time, and at Christmas we'll mail out between 50,000 or so to our list, because we don't just get somebody on the list once, we keep them on our list and we drip on them different ways. A catalog can be a very cost-effective, here's another version of a multi-pages, like a 48-page catalog. And I can get that in somebody's hands, even today with the crazy postal rates, for under $1. And it's another way for them to understand what we're providing them. So we do the direct response ads. We are in print. We do multi-step direct mail letters. We do multi-step emails. So that's an important piece. We also I have a staff, and we have student advisors that will be actually doing outbound calls as follow-up, because they've requested information, they have questions, we're there to help them with their questions. We also are driving them primarily with all these different media pieces to inbound, because our best conversations happen inbound and often on a scheduled basis. So the idea I want you to get is we drive them offline to online and online to offline, being on the phone or watching a webinar and responding to that. So we do all those different things. Now, lead generation, we also do, pay-per-click, social media, SEO. All of those are important tools, but you got to think of it as a funnel, okay? All these different lead sources coming in different ways, and then we try and get them to get in line and move through our funnel and allow us to provide them the information so that we can transform their lives. Now, it's not going to work for a lot of people, and that's fine. We're filtering them out along the way, because a transaction is a $5,000 to $15,000 or more transaction initially. And so we are trying to build both the credibility, but also the relationship. And we go through a 2-year sequence to cover all this. So it is a lot of different steps, right? Okay. Books, absolutely. This is one of our lead generation tools, Becoming an American Gunsmith. We both give this away free. We give it away free plus shipping. We sell it for $5, even though it's a $15 book. I mean, books are not where you're making your money. Books are a relational entry point to attract the kind of people that would really be interested enough to make the investment to change their lives. And so I recommend that you do have a book. The whole Magnetic Marketing Group can help you with that. There's a lot that you can develop. So the core concepts of magnetic marketing that Dan teaches and magnetic marketing as a group teaches are applicable to all types of businesses. And so at the other end of the spectrum, so I've been talking to you about gunsmithing, right? And that $100 million has all been gunsmithing. We also have a trade school called the Accelerated Training Institute, where we teach using our same methodology. We teach plumbing, electrical, locksmithing, machining, other trades, welding. And this is all now online. And this is an actual academy where we give certifications as an entry into those trades, working with both end users who want to learn the trade and business owners that need their employees trained or new employees trained. So the core concepts work for all of this. And so let's take a totally different category I have, a winery. So there are a lot of wineries in the Napa Valley that produce good wine, nice wine. But when I give a bottle of my wine to somebody, I notice that they're just like, wow, that has become the best calling card that I have for building that relationship, because we'll either have it over a dinner, or I'll give that bottle of wine to them and they'll share it with their family and they'll retell the story. Hey, I know this guy, he has this winery in the Napa Valley. It's beautiful, and so on. So I realized this was a relationship building tool and it was magnetically attractive. And I thought, how can I share this with others, share this experience without losing anything myself, and build a like-minded group to explore and enjoy this. So I've created a whole new mastermind group, if you will. And I would say that even the very affluent are blown away. I mean, I've literally given my wine to billionaires and they're excited about it, right? It's not like they couldn't afford anything under the sun, but they're excited. It's a wonderful relationship. So leveraging off that, I use magnetic marketing tools, and I created a whole new brand called Autonomy. Okay. Now, Autonomy, this is an award-winning wine. We got a double gold medal, the same juice, same wine under my Kelly family brand, as was in Autonomy. Now, you notice right here, there's a label, says Gene Kelly. Well, it's got the website and all of that. So when I give this to them, they are reminded who they got the gift from. And this wine I created in such a way it's not available in any stores. They can't buy it. In fact, if you go to my autonomywines.com website, you can't buy it. It's only available to our partners. But then our partners get their name here. So this is their name. And so when they give the wine to their clients, their friends, their associates, suddenly they become fascinating and magnetically attractive. And this is really important to get to. Right now, I'm a category of one when I do this. And my partners now, my Autonomy partners, also become a category of one in their relationship with their clients, their members, their friends, their families, their associates. A lot of people will even wonder, are you successful? But when they see this, they know it. So again, this is the application of magnetic marketing techniques. And I get these ideas by being involved and staying involved. I've been a member of coming up on 20 years, and I'm still excited to get the newsletter because there's all that information in there, and it just gets the juices going. So if you're not, join, get with it. It's going to shift your world. So I think another thing that was really important about this is I decided what type of client I wanted to attract. I want to be with other fellow entrepreneurs. I have high empathy for business owners. So providing them with tools like this that gives them that level of prestige that they may just not have any other way. I mean, what are they going to do? Give out a keychain? Maybe some pens. If you want to work at the top, you need something that symbolizes the top, and affluent people are attracted to it. So, our members invest not a huge amount of money, a fraction of what the millions I spent on building the vineyard and the winery, but they get for a fraction of that to have all the prestige. And of course, we have events and mastermind things and so on. What I'm really teaching on now, and I'm starting to, I just started this project a year ago. So you can move quickly on these things. And I am now teaching how to create the autonomy lifestyle. And we'll be having an event coming up, a live event in Napa. So there's all these different things you can do. I mean, I do live webinars, I do online, I do offline. I think you need to decide what's right for you and find out your 80-20. What's the 20% of what you do that brings you in 80% of your business? And that's a really important thing to noodle on. I still utilize direct response in some of the old school ways, because that's still what brings in the 80%, right? Just getting a whole lot of likes or tweets or whatever isn't going to put money in my bank account. The rest of this does. And so as I'm kind of wrapping up here, I just want you to understand that the magnetic marketing philosophies that Dan teaches, Russell teaches, Marty teaches, this is a real deal. It's made me millions, literally, and your business is not different. You'll hear that again. Your business is not different. Pay attention to this, get involved, and man, I'll be hearing your success story. So, Marty, that's kind of what I got for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Everybody give a round of applause for Gene Kelly. Awesome. Thank you, Gene. So now we've got a golden opportunity for you not only to work with Scott and Lenore, myself and Gene, and when you get to work with us for 1 hour for free, we're going to kick off the VIP Zoom in 15 minutes, guys, just 15 minutes. So it's very important you go right now and upgrade to VIP so you can join us and get all this amazing stuff. So I want to go over again how to do this. Remember, live Q&A with us. We're going to have MC. She's going to be pulling questions from the chat. We will be answering your questions. You get to hear other people get their help. So the next hour is just going to be fantastic. And it's the perfect way to really have everything come together to help you take the next step and put it together in the class we're going to do, the live Q&A hour session. So don't miss it. So go ahead and register now. We're starting off really now in 14 minutes. We want to see you on the Zoom. Again, you're going to get the upgrade to VIP and you're going to get it for free. But I want to be specific on how that works. Now, VIP is normally $197. But we're going to give it to you today for free, and this is how that works out. Again, you get the special Zoom, and again, the other thing people say all the time is and they've said it in the chat, they said it in the feedback, they said the emails we got, is how awesome it is. They think it's the most valuable part of the entire challenge. So come on, get on there. All you Facebook people that are streaming, upgrade to VIP. All you guys in the Zoom, we'll see you now in 13 and a half minutes, and everybody in the chat, we can't wait, okay? So, with that said, you're also going to get lifetime replays of the challenge. So you're not going to have to sit there, because on the Facebook, when you after the day's over, it's gone. It doesn't replay. But with your VIP, lifetime replays of all this awesome stuff, and we've still got 2 days to go. It's a lot of amazing stuff to help you do this. Now, you know what a MIFKE is now? This is the most incredible free gift ever box. I want to go inside what's inside this box and some other cool stuff that's bundled in with it. We talked about bundles this morning. First of all, if you do this and you get the free VIP upgrade, you're going to get Dan Kennedy's Magnetic Marketing book. This book is essential. It's a quick read. It is your map. It is your template. It will show you how to get the systems going, everything we've been talking about. So you got to get this, and you might as well get it for free. Another part of this, which is so cool, is this from the Funnel U, the 74 funnel book. This is a swipe file. All kinds of great funnels and stuff to model. Full color, just fantastic stuff, especially for all you funnelers out there or if you're interested in funnels. But I'm not done. You're also going to get 3 advanced best courses, and let's go through these, okay? You're going to get the Renegade Time Management. Now, again, I'm a busy guy. Gene's a busy guy. Scott and Lenore are busy people. All of our guys are busy, but we're here because we manage our time, okay? We're able to do that, run our businesses, and it'll help you to manage your time, make more money, and get more done, okay? Midas Touch Marketing and Selling, which is great. And again, I've said this 5 times, but I'm going to say it a 6th. My favorite course, the Brass Balls Factor, which is just incredible outside of the box thinking, okay? And again, 30 days of the newsletter. As Gene was talking about, this is our lifeline every month to our community, to meet new entrepreneurs, read new stories, get coaching from Dan. It's just awesome, so all that stuff. So, the way this works, guys, normally VIP is $197, but we want you to have it for free because we know you're going to love the newsletter and know you'd love taking this to the next level. So, you got 2 options, okay? You can go ahead now, pay $197, you get all the stuff. But if you want it for free, this is how this works, okay? 30 days from now, if you love the newsletter, it'll keep coming and you'll get billed $97 per month. But if you don't like it, you can cancel at any time and you still keep your VIP access, you still keep the lifetime swipe files and more for free. And at big time, you'll be Zooming with us in 12 minutes. So go ahead, upgrade to VIP right now. This is where you need to go. You need to go to magneticmarketingchallenge.com/start-now. There's the link. It's right there on the screen. magneticmarketingchallenge.com/start-now. I'll see you on the Zoom, and let's get to work, okay? See you in 12 minutes.